Estimate activity durations is the fourth of the 6 processes in the schedule knowledge area. So what's happening with this process essentially is we are creating duration estimates. We're not going to get into work versus duration. Duration is duration. If it's 4 days, it's 4 days. It might be 8 hours over 4 days, but the duration is the duration. So if it's a 4-day duration, that's the number. And I say that because if you're familiar with popular scheduling software, work and duration can mean different things. And if that doesn't make sense, don't sweat it. It just means you haven't had to get deep into scheduling software yet. Now, when we think about how this process starts out, we're taking the schedule management plan, which has given us guidance on how to create our duration estimates. We're taking our activity lists, and we're looking at our assumption log and our lessons learned register so we can create as accurate of estimates as possible for these activities. So I can use expert judgment to be practical. I could use an analogous estimating approach where I compare an activity or a work package to something we've done before. I could do parametric estimating where I say so much time per something. I could use 3-point estimating, which could be a simple average or a weighted average, and this is where you have a best case, worst case, and somewhere in the middle, and there's a formula for that, be it a simple average or a weighted average, and then that outcome of the formula would be your estimate. And then bottom-up estimating is your most granular, time-consuming estimate. It is the most granular and most accurate, but it's also the most time-consuming. So you're not necessarily always going to do this unless you need the thing to be very precise. Now, reserve analysis also can be used. Reserve analysis is where you look at how much reserve, how much in this case time, you have set aside for things that could go differently than planned. So coming out, we have our duration of estimates. So we have our duration estimates, so how long do we expect it's going to take to get each of these activities done? We also have our basis of estimates, which is the recipe, the formula, if you will. And the formula could be, it's a gut feel. Or there could be logic behind it, like, a technician should be able to do 2 locations a day, and if they do a full week, that's 10 locations a week, for example. And then your activity attributes are going to be updated here. So the activity attributes are going to be updated with your duration estimates as you get those established. Now, this follows sequence activities, and it precedes develop schedule. And so develop schedule is going to be the last of our planning processes here. But basically, we've got our rules for the schedule so far. We've got our activities. We've got our sequencing. Now we have our duration estimates. So in our next process, we're going to pull it all together.